Okay, welcome back to the Lexicata Getting Started video series. In this video, we're going to be going through the agenda feature in more detail, and I'll also be covering tasks and appointments, which are two of the biggest features that you'll be using and that will be on your agenda. So let's go ahead and go into another matter that I created recently. This is a bankruptcy for Tom Jameson. It's on my intake pipeline here. I'm going to go ahead and click on it to go into the matter. And so both tasks and appointments are workflow items. So you'll be creating them by adding them to your workflow for a particular matter. So let's go ahead and just do that. We'll click add a single item. And first I'm going to do a task. So go ahead and just click create task. Tasks basically have a couple of components. One, the task description. So this is basically an overview of what you need to do. So tasks are internal for the law firm. They're not for clients to see. And so it's typically like a to-do list item, maybe a reminder to follow up or to check in or to get some documents or to take some kind of action. So let's just put in a task here. So let's say, Tom called my office last week and I want to remember to give him a call next week and follow up because I haven't heard back from him. So let's just say call Tom back to follow up regarding his bankruptcy. Okay, and so that's the description. That's basically what's going to alert you what you're supposed to do. And then you can put a due date. So I want to get reminded about this 1 week from today, so I'll do that. You can put in a specific time if you want as well. And then you can also schedule a reminder email. And this will go to whoever the task is assigned to. In this case, I am the only user on this account, so it's just going to go to me. But if you have multiple users, you can assign the task to a different user and they would get the reminder email at that time. So you have a few options with reminder emails. You can do it at the time of the due date. So I would get a reminder at this exact time. You can do it before the due date. So, a couple hours before. So depending what the task is and, when it actually needs to be done, you can set your due date accordingly. So that's it. You just click add task. That's all you have to do. And so basically, as you can see, it'll add a workflow item here and it tells you it's a task item. It'll tell you what you're supposed to do here. So this is the description of the task, who's assigned to the task, which user, when the task is due, and what reminder option you've selected. The other things here are the status. So each workflow item gets updated automatically as these things get completed or submitted or whatever. So this one currently says pending, meaning it hasn't been completed yet. And then you have this options button. The options button will be different for each workflow item and it will depend on what phase or which stage it's in. So this one is pending. My options are I can edit the task if I wanted to change it or change the due date, or I can delete it. So pretty simple. Let's also go ahead and just create an appointment really quick. So I'll click again on add to workflow and I'm going to click schedule appointment. So there's a few options here as well. You're going to first select the contact that this appointment is scheduled for. So it's going to default to select the primary contact for this matter, which is this Tom Jameson. If you had multiple contacts linked to the matter, you could also choose a different contact that's related to the matter if you wanted. But let's just go ahead and leave it as Tom. He's the only one. You can put in a name for the appointment. So it's going to default give you this name, appointment, Tom Jameson, but you can change that to whatever you want. So let's just say initial consultation in office. You can also put in a description if you want to add more details or notes about the appointment. Potentially, if you're scheduling this for another user, like an attorney, maybe you want to add some details about the case or what's going on. You can do that. We give you this default appointment description. It'll mention the matter name as well as a URL that links to the matter page. And the nice thing about that is that'll show up on your linked calendar. So whichever calendar you've connected to Lexicata will have this appointment with this description. You can copy and paste this link or click it to get back into Lexicata if you need to. So I'll just leave that as the default. Here you're going to put in the appointment date, so you have a nice little calendar picker. Let's just say Thursday the 18th at 9 a.m. And you can choose the length of the appointment. So we have a bunch of different options. Let's say it's a 1 hour in-office consultation. The last things here are the calendar. So in this case, again, I'm the only user. I would be putting it on my own calendar. That's the only possibility. If I had more than one user on my account, I could schedule it for someone else, or I could even put it on multiple users' calendars. So it will just schedule the appointment on whichever user's calendar you select here in this box. So it's a pretty nice feature, especially if you have, admins or secretaries or receptionists who are taking down these appointments for you and putting them putting them in the system. They'll add it to your calendar if you're the attorney or whoever is meeting with the client. So pretty nice. Finally, this checkbox here allows you to schedule this appointment with a confirmation email. So this is optional. It's only possible if the client has an email address in the system. It will be checked by default, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. But you don't have to do it. If you don't want to, you would just uncheck the box and that's it. Let's go ahead and leave it checked and we'll click schedule. So now the appointment has been created and it takes me to this email, as you can see. So this is the confirmation email. We give you the ability to create different email templates that you can use. So if you have different versions of this email, you could change that here. Right now I just have the one, and I will show you how to customize your email templates in a later video. So we can just leave this default email in place, or I could make any changes right before I send it out if I wanted to, just by typing here into the box. But you'll see it'll automatically insert their name, and it'll automatically insert the date and time of the appointment that I selected on the previous screen. So really easy way, you don't even have to type anything. And then you can just simply click the send button. This email is going to go out right now and notify the client, hey, your appointment has been scheduled. It's basically just a confirmation to let them know their appointment is booked. Finally, we give you the option to set up an automatic reminder email. So this is going to be another email that's going to go out a certain amount of time before that appointment. So my appointment is Thursday the 18th at 9 a.m. So I could say 30 minutes or an hour. Let's just say maybe 2 hours before the appointment. This is going to trigger another automated email message January 18th at 7 a.m. reminding the client, hey, don't forget you have an appointment. And there's another email template that you can use to customize the language for that. And I'll show you that again in a later video, but pretty nice feature. You don't have to think about this. It's automatically going to go out and remind the client that they have an appointment coming up in 2 hours. So we'll click add reminder, and that's that. So now I have 2 items in the workflow, a task that's still pending, an appointment, and the status of the appointment is scheduled. As you can see, you have different options here. You can send a manual reminder, edit the automatic reminder, edit the appointment details, or cancel the appointment, all from the options menu. So pretty cool. Those are a couple of the most common workflow items you will use. Now I want to go to the agenda and show you how these things are going to look in the agenda. So let's go ahead and go over there. Okay, so neither of them was scheduled for today. So that's why I don't really have anything showing up in today's agenda. Let's go ahead and go to upcoming. I have a couple of other items in here as well, but you'll notice here's that task, call Tom to follow up regarding his bankruptcy. It'll have a link back to the matter page. It shows you the date and time that it's due. And all these items in your agenda are going to be in order of when they need to be completed. So the earliest things are first, and the things that are later, furthest in the future are toward the bottom. So pretty cool. So I have this task to complete, and I also have this appointment with Tom coming up on the 18th, and they're both in my upcoming agenda. And also, as I've mentioned in a previous video, you can also even filter this. So if I just want to see my upcoming appointments, there you go. I just have the one appointment with Tom Jameson. Same thing if I wanted to see upcoming tasks, I could do that. I have 2 tasks, one for Tom and one for another contact, which is Robert Johnson. So pretty nice way to manage your to-do list, your pending items. And that's about it. So let's just go back to the matter really quick, and I just want to show you one more last thing. You'll notice now also these timeline items have been created, and my scheduled email here, the reminder email, is right here in my upcoming timeline. So this is almost like a little mini version of the agenda just for this matter. It has the appointment that's upcoming as well as the reminder email and the task. You can even cancel the reminder email if you need to from here just by clicking this cancel button. So that pretty much covers tasks and appointments. Some of the basic functionality you get with those. The other thing I'll point out here is you do have the ability to complete workflow items. So if I check this off, it's going to update the status here to complete for the task. It'll also update this progress bar at the very top and show you how many items are completed out of the total. And you can do the same for appointments. So this is kind of a nice way to just mark things off that are done and you don't need to worry about anymore. And everything will turn green, so you can kind of ignore those ones and focus on just the workflow items that are still kind of outstanding or need to be completed. So that's it for this video about the agenda. and tasks and appointments. In the next video, we'll start getting into the intake form feature of Lexicata and showing you how to build your own intake form templates in our online form builder. Thanks so much for watching this video, and we'll see you next time.